Hello, this video will serve as the lecture for 2.2 solving angle equations. So within this section, we're going to be learning about how to apply the angle addition postulate. We're also going to be learning how to apply the angle bisector theorem and how can we solve equations when we know the relationship between the angles. So let's get into our first example. In this example, they want us to solve for x using the angle relationships, okay? So remember what I told you all in class. I think it's a really good idea for you all to trace your angles. So here's angle 100, okay? And I'm going to trace it here. And then here is angle 5x, and I'm going to trace it. Okay, so don't mind my rough trace, but when we traced it, what do you notice? Do you notice an X, a corner, or a straight line, or none of the above? You should notice a straight line, okay? This is the straight line that was formed. So when we have a straight line that's formed, okay, that means that our angle relationship is supplementary, or in this case, it is supplementary and adjacent. Therefore, it is a linear pair. So now that I know it's a linear pair, I know that both of these angles together should add up to 180 degrees. So 100 plus 5x equals 180. So subtract 100 on both sides. So 5x will equal 80. And then divide 5 on both sides. So 80 divided by 5 will get you 16. So x is equal to 16. Okay, and how can I check my work? Well, if I take this value, substitute it into my angle here, so 5 times 16, we know that that equals 80. 100 plus 80 equals 180, so I know I'm correct, okay? All right, so let's look at our next example. So go ahead and pause the video and try this one out. How would you set up this equation? All right, so remember to trace your angles. Here I have angle 14 plus x, so I'm going to trace my angle. And then I have angle 4x plus 1, and I'm going to trace my angle. Okay, so when I trace my angle, notice that I end up making a right corner here, okay? That means that my angles are going to be complementary, which means that they add up to 90 degrees. So 14 plus x plus 4x plus 1 will equal 90. Combine like terms, 5x plus 15 equals 90. And then from there, subtract 15 on both sides, so 5x is equal to 75. And then divide 5 on both sides, so x is equal to 15. All right, and here is our next example. So go ahead and think about how would you set up this problem. All right, so if I trace my angle 43, here's angle 43. And if I trace my angle 5x plus 3, here is that angle. So what do I notice when these two angles come together is that they form an X. And if they form an X, that means that they are vertical angles. and vertical angles are congruent, or they're equal to each other, right? So that means that I can set them equal to each other. 5x plus 3 equals 43. So I'm going to subtract 3 on both sides. So then 5x will equal 40, and then divide 5. So x is equal to 8. All right, so now let's get into our first postulate or theorem, okay? So imagine you have one angle here, okay? Let's say we have angle 58. And then let's say we bring in a second angle, okay? We also have angle 61 here. If I wanted to determine the angle measurement of this larger angle right here, what do you think I would have to do? All right, so if you said that you would have to add the two smaller angle measurements, okay, you would be correct. I would have to do my green angle, I'm just going to call it angle green for right now, would have to equal 61 plus 58. So this is what we call the angle addition postulate, okay? The sum of two adjacent angles is equal to the larger angle formed, all right? And here's another example over here to my right. I have angle 44 and I have angle 31. It is going to be equal to angle ABC, okay? So here, let's try out some examples using the angle addition postulate. So here I have my picture to the right. I have points G, I have points H, I have points I and Q, okay? They want me to solve for X, and they gave me these different angle expressions, and then they told me to determine each angle measurement. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do is identify which pieces of information go with which angles, okay? So here I have angle QHI. So that would be this angle, angle QHI, okay? And then I have angle GHI. That would be this larger angle here. And then I have angle GHQ, and that's going to be this small angle that is inside. So now that I've pieced together which pieces of information go with which angle, now I'm able to set up my angle addition postulate. My small angle, angle blue, which is angle GHQ, would have to add to angle QHI, or the yellow angle, to equal angle GHI, or my green angle. Okay? Sorry, GHQ. So angle GHQ is 2x plus 11. Angle QHI is 16x plus 2. And angle GHI is 157 degrees. So now from here, I'm going to solve for x. So if I combine like terms and get all of my variables and integers on the same side, I'll end up with 18x is equal to 144. And then I'll divide 18 on both sides so that x is equal to 8. So now that I know x is equal to 8, to determine each angle measurement, I'm going to substitute x into each of these expressions. So here would be 16 times 8 plus 2, which will equal 130 degrees. And then here I would have 2 times 8 plus 11, which would equal 27 degrees. So if I'm correct, then angle blue plus angle yellow should equal 157. So does 130 plus 27 equals 157? Check. Okay? So we're going to pause here, and then in the next video, we will continue to practice some more examples.